nowhere to go, and everywhere but here. Time waits for no man, and the only guaranteed thing is, eventually, we all disappear.
Life is not linear. It's a magnificent dance that invites us to be more than we can imagine. But that doesn't mean growing is easy. I'm George Kalantzis, and welcome to Tough Transitions. In this podcast, I'll share stories from my own life and the stories of others so you can fully accept yourself and rewrite the way you see the world, to stop holding yourself back from your best self and your extreme power. This is your path. Your life is unfolding exactly the way it was intended. Learn how to connect your heart, listen to your voice, and free yourself from limitations and expectations so you can claim your true, unlimited potential.
Hey, we're back with another Friday Flow. And today's writing came from this concept of just trying to appreciate things that allow me to trust for something greater unfolding. You know, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he had a quote that says, "All I have seen teaches me to trust the Creator for all I have not seen." And it made me think deep, like I have done a lot lately, especially with all the things in the world going on. And then as my dad is passing right now in front of me, and many different changes taking place, I believe that one of the most profound experiences we can give ourselves as humans is really trusting our paths, trusting ourselves, no matter how dark the roads appear. Because if we never trust ourselves, we never feel seen. And if we never feel seen, usually we walk through life empty and dead inside. But when we trust, the exact opposite occurs. For me, it's writing. It gives me the courage to walk through life with more compassion for my journey. Now, I'm not saying that I don't experience pain or suffering, because I do have depression bouts from time to time, which they're slowly disseminating. And now that I'm sober, it's like a gift of clarity, being able to feel it all. I'm simply saying that by allowing myself to trust the things that are unfolding, no matter how dark they may seem, I can learn from life more quickly than before. Because what I have found to be true is that every word I write, whether if it's here for the podcast or articles online or in my journal, is essentially a grain of sand in the hourglass of life. Seconds and choices unfold one after another. In this point of view, nothing is wrong or broken. Just stories filtered through my life, while Father Time patiently waits till sand runs out. And so this is an interesting thing to consider, because who likes to think about death? Not many of us. And so at 38, my hourglass is a little more than halfway filled if you think about the average life expectancy of a male. So as I speak these words into this podcast, the pieces of sand are woven together and filtered into stories of pain, love, heartbreak, and redemption. This hourglass of life represents beautiful paradoxes, hence the poem at the beginning of the podcast. So as grains of sand fall below and life unfolds in front of me, regardless of how I am, my writing, it allows me to see the sand that falls and look at it from a place of purpose and being more embodied with who I am. I get to feel it all. I get to experience it all. I get to see it all. In my pen and the journal, they give me the strength to accept that the more I grow, the less I know. Paradox 1. Then, the more chances I give myself to trust the unknown, the more opportunities I arise. Another paradox. If I'm afraid now, I choose to do something about it rather than let it run my life. And then the last paradox, nothing is ever certain. So there may be times in your life where things will seem impossible. But if you think about it in retrospect or at a different angle, and you look back at your life through this lens that you're standing right now, you are proof that there are grains of wisdom that do emerge from places of suffering. I am proof. Many of the greatest people that you admire are proof. So if you find yourself in a place where you're buried deep beneath your stories of pain, maybe where your heart's closed off, I urge you to see that every choice is a series of grains and sand through your hourglass of life. And while you might believe you are in control by resisting the things that are unfolding or choosing to escape through addictions, substances, relationships, social media, whatever, there is always a trade-off because time waits for no man. And when you do choose to escape, you lose sight of who you are. And then one day, you're going to be in your hospital bed wondering where life went. I have learned that the sands of time sometimes force us to make choices in life that really bury us deep, further from our true selves. But if we can somehow trust ourselves a little bit more, we can see that everything we experience is part of something greater. For instance, I talk about death in my book, Nowhere to Go, with my dad, because I've never seen him cry. And I haven't, over the last few years of my life, he's cried more than ever. And it took 30-something years for me to see him cry. But I believe that it's his acceptance of death and really trying to make room for his next part of life. And also clear any, resistance that we may have had. So as you're listening to this podcast, do anything in your life but remain complacent in the walls of your sands. Allow yourself to see that life is unfolding regardless of whatever choices you have made or will make. Surrender, not out of weakness, but out of an appreciation for your life and the time that you have left. Lean into fear and uncertainty. Take more risks. Take a deep breath. And choose to see life through the lens of an hourglass. Trust your story, as every choice you make falls to the sands below you. No matter what, no right or wrong, no shoulds, just be, as it all fits into your hourglass and creates movement in the direction of your heart. Choose to see that what lays before you is here to help you remember who you are and what you've gone through. Nothing you have chosen is ever wrong. It's just the best with what you know. Take a few more deep breaths. And try not to waste any more of your precious time worrying that you made the wrong choices or worrying about what has gone off path according to what you thought. And if you can look at your life from this lens, you'll see that everything is in your favor when you allow it to unfold. Because life is worth it. You are worth it. And your gift is often unlocked underneath the hidden layers of your story. And when you can see this, you'll find a new voice. One that not only heals yourself, but it calls others to do the same. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.
Did you just like what you heard? Then make sure to check out my book, Nowhere to Go, Navigating Tough Transitions. It's available everywhere books are sold. You can also now get it from me for $1 digitally at theartoftoughTransitions.com, where you have an option to upgrade to a 5-day masterclass to really help you break free of the limitations and expectations of the world so you can tap into your true potential. Because what are you waiting for? Life is this magnificent dance that invites you to be more than you could ever imagine, but only if you give yourself permission to be open to the many tunes in front of you right now. Thanks for listening. Share it, review it, and I'll see you around soon.